everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play PineHut Zoo. My name is Nissa and today we're gonna start our new PineHut Zoo. And with that we have a lot to do today. We're gonna build our new main building which will house 2 floors and will have quite some animals in there, but we're not gonna build for the animals yet because we're also gonna build our restaurant along with our new gift shop. Out here you can see we are building a parking lot, and there are a reason that I didn't record building the entire parking lot. Since it is a blueprint from the workshop on Steam, of course. It is called Parking Lot, just that. And it's made by Taiga. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I will link it below. So if you want to use this beautiful blueprint, then please do. It's quite beautiful, but I did, as you can see here, change it a little bit to make it fit what I wanted to do with it. But it's quite simple, it's quite beautiful, and I think it works for most zoos out there. And it's quite brilliant actually in the way it utilized the what's it called, bus area here in the middle, and it's not too big, it's not too small, it's just right. I do apologize for my voice today, it's just one of those days, you know, so I hope we can work with it. I'm gonna try anyway. I will try to keep this video short. I had more than 4.5 hours of recorded video for this, so I really tried this to keep it short. I did this by making an extra video because I made an area across the road from this parking lot, which will come out in a bonus video either today or Saturday, because I just thought that it would be too much to have in the same video. We are also gonna use a few mods today, and actually today I'm gonna try to explain when I use them. For instance, this one is from the General Zoo Scenery Pack from JoJo, which is this, I think it's wood or stone, I'm not quite sure actually, but it's quite beautiful, and I gave it this very dark color to make it this very unique coloration. I will mention that to keep this video as short as humanly possible, I did cut out a lot, and I will mention when I do it. But it was, for instance, backstage area, and also a few things that I tried that didn't work, so I cut it out because I didn't end up using it in the final build. Now, if the game worked a little bit better, I would start by building the first floor and then at the basement where I wanted it, but because that doesn't just work, I had to build out the basement first, even though I aren't exactly sure where it are going to be at the end. So therefore I'm really trying to make it work this way instead. To tell you a little bit of PineHut Zoo, or Hut, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It is a zoo which are placed in a taiga biome, which I haven't built that much for before, so I'm actually really looking forward to doing this. It is, however, really gonna limit how I can build, because a lot of the animals will feel really cold if I just build the same habitat I would do in a desert or tropical or even temperate biome. So we're gonna try to make that work very well. I'm planning to try to utilize some of the things zoos in my area of the world have been much better as using the last couple of years. Since, again, I live in Denmark, we do have hot summers and we can even have tropical nights, we call them here in Denmark, when it's just a night that is so hot that it's actually give the same feeling as living in a tropical area. However, the winters can be very cold. Not all winters are, but the winters can be. And we can actually have snow for a month, which normally would be hopefully last part of December, but besides that it's mostly around January, February and sometime March. And some zoos actually closed down in this part of the year because they don't have to use the same money on the staff as they would otherwise. Otherwise, I remember when I was a child, when we want to visit a zoo in the winter, then we did actually run into this issue where it would be so cold, so most of the animals would be inside in their houses. And this makes a lot of sense. We can't actually expect the lions and the zebras to walk around in the snow. However, this means that we couldn't see them because the houses was closed out for the guests. The guests simply couldn't see them. And even though the zoo ticket prices was way cheaper in this part of the year, it was really an issue that we couldn't see the animals we wanted to see, and we had to kind of try to work around this. Try to imagine going to a zoo and only be able to see like 10% of the animals. Though on the other hand, the houses we could go into, like for instance in Copenhagen Zoo, we were able to go into the elephant house, but it was so smelly and disgusting, so you actually didn't want to be in there. I will clarify today, you actually can go still into the elephant house in Copenhagen Zoo, but they got a new house and it's so beautiful. It's very, very big. I think it's 3 or 4 stories high, and you get this feel of fresh air the second you go in there. They have these giant big open doors on both sides of the house, of course, and therefore they are actually able to bring in a lot of natural air that will flow through the building, where the old building only had one little door on one end of the building. So we will work very much to have multiple doors so the air can get through the building. At the same time, they also got this big beautiful glass ceiling, which gives them the opportunity of still having these very open areas, and the elephant still got the feeling where the sun goes up and down as it naturally does. At the same time, other zoos utilize another idea that they technically just go for the animals that can survive the cold winters of Denmark, and therefore have a very limited roster of animals, if we can say it that way. And at the same time, a part of the animals are still animals that we could see otherwise in Denmark or in our neighboring countries around these parts. Now, we will have to do something in between that, because we can't really afford in a little zoo like this to have all of us animals have these giant massive houses. The electrical bill on its own would be very, very big. So we will of course have to do something in between. But for our main building here, we will like to surprise our guests with a lot of beautiful animals that they probably wouldn't see other places. We will also try, as you can see here, to make our zoo handicap friendly. So therefore we try to make it so you can get everywhere in the zoo in a wheelchair or with other helping elements. So for instance, here we have this place down to the basement where you can get down with the wheelchair, but we also have the stairs at the other side where you can't get down, but you can still go down here and see everything down here in a wheelchair if you want to. And I'm pretty sure that we would have like guides. We have a information center right with the entrance where they could ask for it, but we also would probably have like these small manual that we would have one specifically for the handicaps, so they know everywhere, every time they come to a place where they feel like they can't go in, they can just open that and look how they can do it. Especially once again because it is a tiger biome, so we would have very, very many places where there would be snow, so they could get either their wheelchair stuck in the snow or they could slip in the snow, and we don't want either of those things to happen at any time. To go back to the building, I will try to really limit how many pieces I use in each building, where before I have made a lot of details. I will do that some places, but I will try to choose how or which places I wanted to do that, mainly because I don't want the game to lag too much. but also because this is our first building and we probably wouldn't have that much money yet. So we don't want to make it too expensive, but we still want it to look expensive, and that can be a really hard balance to make, but we will do our very best here. Yeah, I used the pathing to kind of cover, as you can see, those places where the ground is stuck like that. And now it comes to the outer barrier here, and I decided first to make them go here, but to actually cover that way down to the basement, I decided to move the wall all the way out here. And I also feel like this will work much better when it comes to our habitat that are going to be in here. Speaking of habitats, we are going to have these two big habitats up here, and then we had the two downstairs, and we're also gonna make something else in the basement, but that won't be today because again this took me 4.5 hours or more to build. So I really want to not making too much today, and we will build the rest of that as habitat speed build, so you can get that that way. And I know some of you are very much here for the building, some of you are very much here for the animals, so I try to cater to both this way. Anyway, before I forget, thank you so much to everyone who were in and watched my live stream this Saturday. I was so shocked by everyone who saw it and are still seeing it, honestly. I didn't expect that at all, so thank you so much for that. It actually means so much. Yeah, it's basically a way to tell me that I'm not the only one who thinks all of these very nerdy things are very, very interesting. And while we are at it, thank you so much for everyone who likes and subscribe, and please do that even more because it helps out a ton with the channel. And if you've been subscribed before but haven't rung the bell, then you might not be notified when it's this playlist that I build on. As always, I make a playlist for each zoo, so therefore in Future Life Asia there won't come any more videos on that playlist, but it will stay off, of course. But everything over here on this playlist you might not be notified if you haven't rung the bell, so it's just if you really want to be notified, please remember to ring that as well. Now we are getting closer to the roof here, and I will say there will be a cut here in a minute because I made one roof, but it basically just didn't fit the building. So I went back in later and redid the entire roof, so I hope you're okay with that. Basically I built a pyramid up here and it just doesn't fit that big square building to have a pyramid on the top, so therefore I went in and redid that. But I still use the same. Here you can see this beautiful glass piece. I love these glass pieces, but I don't understand why we don't have the same wall pieces and the same roof pieces as we got with the other glass pieces. Here you can see I did build that pyramid, my wood up there, and I did in between here make a fence so any animals can climb over here to the other habitat. In here we are going for the restaurant. Yeah, I'm sorry for the confusion, but I went a lot back and forward. And here we're gonna put in the heaters because again our animals are gonna need to keep up the heat. And also our guests, remember when they come here they may be walking for a while or been in a cold car for a while. Even though you came in a warm car, it can be very cold just to go out in the Taiga area for just a few minutes. So we want to heat up all of our guests, so all heaters are set to 25 degrees Celsius to make sure that they don't freeze in here. And this was another idea I right away decided not to go with, so I removed it again, of course. Then I needed a way to make sure that the animal stays inside of the habitat, and I went with these heavy ropes. They're gonna frustrate the guest a little bit, but the animals we're gonna have here, these ropes will be enough to actually stop them, so we're gonna go with that. And always keep in mind that there are multiple ways where you can actually stop your animals. You don't always need a door. You can make a few different things, and this is just one of them. And I think with the theme we're going for with this building and with the animals we're gonna have in here, this is very well or a good idea. I add those also, as you can see, into the restaurant to make sure the animals don't run in there, even if they could get through. And then I make these longer so they reach the floor, and the same over here because we don't want the animals into the gift shop. We don't need to do that down here because this will be closed habitats where the guests can't get in. But I really like the design of it, that it stays the same throughout the building, even though you are at another floor. The roof up here, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna change that later. I haven't done that yet, but I'm every time I look at it, I want to change it even more, so it's probably gonna end with me changing it. And then I just went in and redid a few things down here. I couldn't figure out how I wanted the walls downstairs and that, or the walls into the habitat here. So I went in and redid them and moved them a little bit here, you can see. And after that, I went in and did the habitat. And I'm gonna fish out up now, basically. I couldn't figure out how to make the gate work. It just wouldn't work. So I decided cut all of that where I worked with it. I tried to make it work out of this video, and then I went in and redid it in another not in another video, but I did that without camera on because it took me more than an hour to figure out how to do it. It does work now, and I basically just made the basement 2 meters deeper, so you won't really notice the difference, even though the stairs will be a little bit longer, but that's it. But I did that after I shot the cinematic, and I didn't feel like it was enough to redo the entire cinematic, so it just, if you don't understand what I did there, it's just to explain. Then I go out here in front and I want to add a flower bed out here. You know, I love my flower beds. And I do feel like that's nice to have that between, since here we don't have a, what's it called, the part of the street where people can walk. I don't remember what that's called in English, but we don't have that out here. We just have the street. So I think it would be nice, and you would feel a little more safe with your car here when you have this piece in between. Out here, I decided to use the same bush as we have in the middle that Utopia did with the blueprint, but out here I chose to make them more bushy, where they are more kept in the middle and more clean cut, if you can say it that way. Down here I make a backstage area and I cut that out. As you can see here, we have a keeper hut, we have a vet surgery, and we have a what's it called, staff area. And I didn't make it pretty or anything like that. I just placed the buildings, so I didn't feel the need for you to see that. So, but we don't want the guests to go in, so we do this. Then we go out here again, and then we make these flower beds. And of course, first of all, we're going in with all of the dirt here, and after that we're gonna copy it because we also want it over here like this. And now I did something different with the flowers, so I did go in with the taiga biomes and use stuff that would naturally grow here, and we're also gonna make that part in here. Remember that the other side of the road, I make that in a separate bonus video that will be up later today or Saturday, but you will still get a habitat speed build this Saturday, no matter what. So here we just go in with the bushes. I don't make too much around here because I don't know yet what I'm gonna build of habitat behind it. So I will keep that opportunity open to add more foliage, more bushes maybe, or more anything in here. So it's just, yeah. It's just to get a feeling on how this zoo opening will look overall. I did decide to make the sides here, you can see, in different color schemes. But here in front, I decided to make it more similar. The feeling I went for with this flower bed was very much that we planted a lot of beautiful bushes and flowers and plants here. And then we didn't hire a gardener because it was too expensive, so it just overgrown, and we have a little bit of weed in there, and we have different things that just grew too much, so it's just looked unkept now. And it's pretty much what I wanted for it. There is an area where I do actually decide to change one bush with the same bush but smaller later on, but it's because it's in front of a sign, so I do feel like you would take the time to remove it from the sign. But from the rest of it here, you can see it's just going to be overgrown. But I still stay with this color scheme of what we would have planted here. So we have the purpley, bluish and pinkish colors, which works very well together, especially here in the shadow area. And again, in the Taiga area, it will be dark pretty early, and light comes pretty late in the day, so therefore this would give the feeling that you went for. Here we have a little issue with the pathing because I have the backstage area right beneath this, so I couldn't really change this curve down here, so we're gonna go with the way it is. Then we're gonna go in here, and I actually never use these booths because I don't like them, but for this in this color scheme I actually really like them. So yeah, it's new for me, so please, yeah. And as I always say, even though I normally don't use them, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't use them. It's just how it is. And I always say that if there's something I built that you don't like, then it means that I like it, and it's totally okay, just like it is when you like stuff and I don't like it. And I make these videos pretty much to try to both actually to kind of make myself try new stuff, because I always want to impress you guys, but at the same time it's also just a way to kind of try to show you another way of doing things, just like when I watch other builders like Rudy and Camel, the Lay Designer, Leaf, and so on. I love watching what they do because they sometimes do the same things that I do, but in a completely different way. And I've always felt so inspired when I see that made so different. And I hope some of you get inspired by what I do. And as always, if you try some of these things yourself, please tell me below, because I would really love to know what you build, and I would really love to kind of be a part of what you build in the same way that I invite you to be a part of what I built. So now it comes to the gift shop, and before you ask me, we are gonna build with the gift shop it's not a gift shop DLC, the gift shop mod by Nicholas Linewriter, I think it is. Again, every single mod I use, you can find them in my playlist. I have a playlist for prop mods and one for animal mods, and it's right there to see it if you want to. And on the description of those videos, I also have everything you need to install the mods, both a link to a YouTuber who explain, I think it Leaves, who explain how to do mods, how to download them, install them, and everything. It's a very good video. And at the same time, I also have the link to where you go to download all of these mods, because it can be a little bit confusing if you haven't tried it before. For the gift shop here, I only make these very low shelves. I don't want to cover the light out from the sun at all. Again, we don't have too much light in this part of the world, especially in the winter, so we want to let it in as much as possible. And also a little lazy thing, because I just didn't want to use 2-3 hours of putting things of every single shelf. So this was kind of, yeah, a project of both things. But here you can see the stuffies we use here. Everything I use in here, you can see it marked in the with the gift shop pack, the little pink gifts mark down in the menu here. It all come from the gift shop pack. So again, beautiful pack. It's not a pack I use or a mod I use that often because I don't build that many gift shops, but when I do, I really love to use this. And they are so beautiful, all of these plushies, as I have told you guys before, the first thing I do when I go to a zoo, that's actually the gift shop, because I need to make sure that there's a good plush that I can get home with me. I just love plushies, and everyone who have seen me my videos where I show myself, you can also probably see that in the end video here, or the end clip, where you can see how many how many stuffed animals I have on my bed, because I just love them, and the bigger the better. So yeah, that's just how I feel. We also need some balloons in here, and of course some caps, because that's something we need, and we're gonna have them in every single color. Again, it's still for the gift shop pack. However, the colors from the cap here is made in a different way, and I explained that in my video on the gift shop pack. So if you want all of these beautiful pictures here in your game also, you can also see it in that video. Then we need some t-shirts, of course, so we're gonna make them in not every single color, because we have a lot of different colors. And if you recognize the panda here, it is of course WWF, World Wildlife Foundation, that is on here. As always, if you want to help the world, if you want to help the animals, that is a beautiful way to do that. You can of course also go and donate, but I love to buy things in their gift shop. WWF also have their own shops online where you can go and buy things and support that way. If you don't just want to support, you can also monthly support or one-time support. You can do whatever you want. I think I will leave a link below so you can go and do that. However, if you want to buy for them, you need a local WWF to do that, and I can't link every single local one, so I'm gonna link one where you can donate just with money if you want to. Of course, no pressure here, it's just if you want to, the opportunity is there for you. And for the last things here I'm gonna add here is some wall decoration that you can buy. Beautiful decoration that reminds me of where we are in the world. Again, these are all things I have both built and bought since I was a little child, and it is a big part of the culture here up north, especially in the winter. Then out here we need a little bit of light. Of course we can't see it from the parking lot at this time, but again, it gets dark early in the day in the winter, so therefore we need some light out here. And I decided to go in and then lift them all up, so they are more like spotlights up in the roof and not placed under the roof, if that makes any sense for you. I tried to make this place a little more cozy. Again, it's the first thing you see when you come to the zoo. And I actually decided to go in and put in some extra stuff that you won't see here, like a bench, trash cans, and I'm not sure if you're gonna see me put out some signs, but you can see it all in the cinematics afterwards, so you will see it. It's just I did forget it until I actually went back in and redo the stuff I needed to redo. But here comes the spoiler for this Saturday's Speedbill habitat. So if you want to see that, it will be out Saturday, and yeah, we do a little more else here with the signing. I think it's back here, yes. So we're gonna make another one here, and we're gonna use the same letters in the same color. I did think about changing the color because the color doesn't fit the theme over here, but at the same time I still felt like it made more sense that all the letters up here would be in the same colorations, and there are still greens in the night, but yeah, that will we also have to go in and build for. And again, that's why I wanted to build this entire basement, and I think it's the part most zoos forget. I only actually know one zoo in Denmark that have an area like that. It's not a basement though, it is a house. But it is kind of a double-edged sword because it is also kind of uncomfortable to be in a night house most of the time. I don't like the feeling when I'm in it, but I really want to see the animals in it, so I always get out of it with the feeling like I need the sun, I need some air, I need to get out of here. It is very claustrophobic most of the time, so I will try to build it in a way where it won't appear claustrophobic. So here I actually used the same signs twice here to make this one sign and put them in a building together. And then we're gonna put them out here also and out here, because we really want to show the guests that we are glad they are here and we want to make them feel welcome. So we go in here and move these two, and this is also why I decided to move the one bush on this side, because that would be something where you would care to go in and cut it. So I found the same bush, just smaller, and put it in like that. Now it's finally time for the roof, and I just go in and do this instead because it fits the building much better than a pyramid in the middle of the building. So therefore we go in with this, and yeah, as always, I really like it. It looks very much the way I want it to look. So yeah, I think we are here. And the cinematic starts now. I think you can see the spring in one of them. But besides that, guys, I will be back afterwards, and enjoy. Okay guys, that was all. As you can see here, I added some blueprint cars, and I don't actually remember all of these blueprints, what they call, who made them, but it will be in the description along with links, so you can go and get them yourself. I think I used 2 different blueprints for the cars, and yeah, I really hope you enjoyed all of this. We are ready this Saturday to put out the first habitat and the bonus episode with everything I do on the other side of the road here across from the parking lot will be up in 2 hours after this video. So please go and watch that if you feel like it. Again, it will be without animals, so if you only have animals, that will come Saturday, and I really hope to see you again. Yeah, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and sorry. You know the drill, guys. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I will hope to see you again, either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye, guys!